Welcome back, everybody, to Chicago Reacts. It's your boy Frodo, joined by
Sam. Michael.
Zach and Michael. Your favorite acting
I just
duo.
want to be your Sam. Is that too much to ask? I just want to be your gardener. That was not a good...
Potatoes. Okay.
Wow. All right. That was a fun little tangent for y'all.
We love you guys.
Yeah. But, it's Michael and Zach back at Chicago Reacts. We got a good one for you today. At least we've been told that it's a good one. We have no idea what this is. Joshua Norton, The Only United States Emperor by Salmonella.
But we do know our boy Salmonella.
Yes, and we do enjoy some Salmonella. And we know you all enjoy some Salmonella. So
this one, by the way, was suggested specifically by Box Hunter.
Yes.
Thank you, Box Hunter, for the suggestion. Also encourages all of you guys to leave your comments as well. We and the producers do try and get to as many of the videos that you guys suggest as possible. So, that being said, you ready to see how Sam's doing? You ready to meet this Joshua Norton?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
This video is sponsored by Wix.
This one is not.
Yes.
But we're open to it, Wix. Come on.
Hey kids, let me ask
Hey,
you,
Sam.
do you watch the news often? Have you attended a school in your life? You ever look at a dollar? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then chances are you're familiar with at least a couple United States presidents. But if you're like me prior to
If you
last
were like,
week,
oh, no.
you've probably never heard of a United States emperor. Excuse me, good sir, but I should inform you that we're actually living under an emperor as we speak, at least according to my degree from the University of Reddit. Hey, that's great. Whoa, look over there. It's someone criticizing Elon Musk. And he's making typos. Anyway, let me tell you all a story about a man named Joshua Norton. Norton was born in England at some point in the 1810s. Very little is known about the guy's younger years other than the fact that he spent most of his youth in South Africa as part of the UK's colonization programs. He came to San Francisco in 1849 with a modest amount of wealth to his name and worked his way up in the real estate and commodities markets to become one of the city's wealthiest citizens. All was normal in the life of Mr. Norton until one day when he got a little too big for his britches. You see, in 1852, China was facing a huge famine, so they completely banned the export of rice. Naturally, San Fran's rice price began to skyrocket in response to the reduced supply, peaking at 36 cents per pound. Norton saw this and decided to buy a $25,000 rice shipment from Peru at 12 cents per pound, thinking he'd corner the market. Keep in mind, that's around $750,000 in today's money. Little did he know, that wasn't the only shipment coming out of Peru, and by the time he was able to sell it, rice was already back down to 3 cents a pound. Now, according to my calculations, that put Norton at a net loss of a whole frickin' lot. He subsequently got into a years-long court battle with the vendor who sold him the shipment, which only cost him more money, and ultimately
Why would you fight
Norton
that?
did what anybody would do after losing everything. He drank a nice hefty dose of fuck it all and said, you know what? The courts can eat my shorts, the house can eat my blouse, Peru can eat my shoe. I declare myself emperor of these United States. And I'm telling every newspaper in the city about it. And then he did. Now, the papers could have just been like, what a lunatic, and that would have been the end of it. But instead they said, you know what, this guy's kind of a meme. Let's publish his declaration. Just
Talk about doubling down when you're lowing out.
He's
Just
like-
go,
he's like-
you know what? I blew it. I'm going to just declare that I'm emperor. What else? What do I have to lose?
Yeah, I mean,
I
basically.
already lost my rice money.
Yeah.
What else do I have to lose?
Yes, that's basically the equivalent of like us investing in something in the stock market and the price goes down and then we sue whatever company or stock that we have ownership in. Like that to me was the funniest, most ridiculous part.
Yeah.
Like-
Let's see if this guy becomes
for
emperor,
kids
though.
and shiggles. People across the city had their laughs, and Norton's rise to power began. From here, he issued several more commands to the media, and unlike nowadays, people loved having regular Norton updates shoved in their face. Among these announcements was a decree in 1859 to formally abolish the United States Congress. He also gave out a mandate to both the Protestant and Roman Catholic churches to formally ordain him as emperor. Although these edicts were ultimately ignored by the powers they were
Also,
addressed
fuck
to,
Palestine,
still
not an
served to
actual
build
quote.
Norton's reputation around the city, and before long, he was a fully fledged local celebrity. He was easily recognized by passerby, typically sporting a blue naval uniform and a beaver hat with a peacock feather in it. Pretty soon, Norton could expect to receive the royal treatment wherever he went. People started to address him formally on the streets, he got to ride public transport for free, and he even got occasional tax payments from people sympathetic to his impoverished living situation.
I kind of love that people were just like, yeah, sure, we'll go along. It's like amusing enough. Yeah, you know what? Sure. That sounds fine. We don't actually believe in you, but sure.
I mean,
like a mascot emperor, essentially. That's kind of nice. It's kind of cool. I mean, I'm
kind of cool. Kind of cool. That's an
understatement. It's kind of cool.
That's super rad.
All right, let's see if
Joshua Norton.
Let's see where this goes, Joshua Norton.
Oh, and get this. Norton became so famous that toy stores in the city began selling dolls of the man for kids to play with. How many people can you think of that were so legendary that they got dolls made after them? You got Emperor Norton, Mr. T, and the bear that Teddy Roosevelt decided not to shoot. That's it, really. Also, though not backed by actual law in any way, his declarations came to be taken relatively seriously by the populace around him. For example, according to Norton, saying Frisco instead of San Francisco would be punishable by a $25 fine. Talk to any Frisco native and you'll find that this attitude survives to this day. With the help of a local printing firm, Norton even issued his own currency, which was actually accepted by many residents of the city, despite having no backing behind it whatsoever. In fact, a few Norton bucks are still floating around today as highly valued collector's items. I tried doing the same thing a while back, but unfortunately, Onella rubles are still only worth their weight in Onella rubles. Of course, it wasn't all magpies and molasses for our good friend Josh. He was once arrested by a policeman named Armand Barbier, who wanted to throw him in an asylum for his apparent insanity. Needless to say, when the public caught wind of this, they lost their fucking minds. Irate citizens wrote complaints in droves. All the newspapers published scathing editorials towards the police department. Stray cats were thrown into wood chippers. I don't have any evidence for that last one. I'm just, assuming based on what I would do in this scenario. Anyway, the chief of police got the memo, and Emperor Norton was released unscathed. Thankfully, Norton issued a royal pardon towards the man who arrested him, and from that point onward, whenever Norton passed a member of the force, they would stop and salute him. So, although in many ways he appeared godlike, Norton was but a mortal. And, as mortals sometimes do, Emperor Norton decided to drop dead on a street corner on January 8th of 1880. However, he left behind a legacy, the likes of which most of us could only dream of.
he lived to, what, his 70s?
Beyond just the comedic value of his many exploits, Norton definitely had his prophetic moments, with some of his orders actually coming true decades after they were given. On multiple occasions, he ordered a bridge to be built between San Francisco and the Oakland Bay Area, which was eventually constructed in the 1930s. He also told people to form a League of Nations to uphold international interests. Unfortunately, a man yelling in California wasn't quite enough to convince the leaders of the world that such a thing was necessary. But who knows? Maybe the little Nordo could have stopped World War I if he had been just a bit louder. I hope this tale has inspired some of you young impressionable kids out there. Not because I expect any of you to succeed in the same way Norton did, but just because it's my personal belief that the world could always use more oddball vagrants. Wait a minute. Oddball vagrants. Product placement. Sponsor time. Question. Do you do literally anything? If the answer is yes, then chances are you could get a lot of use out of a website powered by Wix. You can give your small business the professional makeover it deserves, or show off your art and other hobbies in any style or layout you can imagine. Even if you don't do anything with your life, then hey, today's as good a day as any to try your hand at web development. Wix does all the heavy lifting for you, meaning even a novice can create stunning pages of all shapes and sizes. Beyond just the aesthetic aspect, Wix also offers tons of other services for your site, like custom domain names and email services. Oh, and did I mention it's free? So please,
it's free.
try Wix
That's great
today.
to know. You know what's interesting? Like, that's just so cool. Like that people were just kind of like, no, he's fine. Like he's not hurting anybody. It's not like he's raising an army to fight against. It's like he was just kind of his own guy. Arguably, he just tried to create his own currency. He was doing Bitcoin.
Dogecoin.
Yeah. In the 1800s. So, kudos to him.
Yeah, seriously. Also, I learned a new slang here in Chicago. From now on, San Francisco will be called Frisco.
You may not want to call it that
me.
when you're there, though.
I know, but from the safe distance of Chicago, I will call it Frisco. Yeah, man. What a weird story. What a
Thank you, Box Hunter, for suggesting that video. I really that was like weirdly like heartwarming and charming.
Yeah, and even Norton at the end when he gave the pardon to the one cop and like that, like he redeemed himself a little bit there.
He might have a kind of a twisted worldview and maybe feelings of grandeur that are not accurate, but he's a nice guy pardoning people and thinking bridges should be built across the bay. He's got great ideas, so...
He was a meme before memes were memes. You know, he was the OG meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
Sam and Nella, entertaining us once again and introducing us to someone entirely new.
Well, I loved Sam and Nella's good at this. An internet historian too, like diving into these like weird little like history things that you would never otherwise learn about, you know, and it's so fun to do that. So thanks again for watching, and let us know if you have someone in your town that reminds you of Joshua Norton, just like this one person that everyone just loves, and it's just like, yeah, they're maybe different, but you just accept them for who you are. Let us know in the comments section down below, because we all just need to be more accepting of people, right? Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time on Chicago Reacts.